you should always be offering value. You don't want to make a post about selling, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. You don't want to do that all the time because you're not building any confidence or trust, and you got to build a relationship first, right? It's like going on the first date with somebody and asking them to marry you. You don't want to do that. You want to date them for a while, right? So you want to offer some good value and some good content from your industry that would be helpful to your visitor.
Welcome to Well Said, Finger Lakes, the podcast where we speak with businesses, organizations, and interesting people from in and around the Finger Lakes region of New York State. My name is Jeremiah Craig, and we're here in the live room at Well Said Media in Ithaca, New York. Our guest today is the owner and operator of DesigningValue.com, based in Binghamton, New York, offering digital marketing services to all types of businesses and organizations. Please welcome Michelle Miller. How's it going, Michelle?
Hey, Jeremiah. Good. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for making the trip up here. I know Binghamton is about an hour away from where we are here in Ithaca, and there might have been a little bit sketchy weather, but we appreciate you making the trip.
I'm happy to be here.
Let's dive right in because I'm interested in designing value and the digital marketing services that you provide. Could you start out by telling us all where the idea for DesigningValue.com came from and offering marketing services?
Sure. So many years ago, back in 2007, I was actually having a conversation with a good friend. Everybody should have a good friend that you can talk to, right, when you're bouncing some ideas. And I knew that I wanted to move into web design. And so we just got talking about web design and what would be interesting. And I said, most of all, I really want whatever I do to be valuable. And whatever client I get to work with, I want their website to be able to offer value to the visitor. So we just kind of paired it together and landed with Designing Value.
And it's just website services, or did you then grow it from there to other sort of services that digitally?
Yes. So it started with web design. And shortly after that, I came into contact with, I don't know if you're familiar with the Wendy's Walk from Kids. It was a really big nonprofit in the Binghamton area every year. And they contacted me to see if I could help with their website. And so then I moved into email marketing and social media pretty quickly after that because they needed those services. And now we do, pretty much everything that a business needs help with online, those are the services we offer now.
So it's kind of like this big umbrella of digital marketing. So all of these things can be considered under the digital marketing umbrella. What is the best way for businesses to use sort of this digital marketing umbrella?
Right. So a lot of times people will come to me for a new website or help with social media. Those are the two biggest questions I get. I think I need a new website. Does my website look outdated? What should I have on there? How do people find me on Google? And what should I be doing on social media? And so what I say is digital marketing, there are so many different really great tools that can help a business online. But I always say start with the foundation of 4 different pillars, really. So your website is really important, right? Because that's where, based on your keywords and what your business is about and what you can do for customers, that's how Google can find you. So you always want to keep your website updated, meaning current information and how to contact you and everything like that. And consistent updates, too. Some people don't update their websites often enough, and that could really benefit their business if they do that. And then there is the Google Business Profile. And this is actually a free tool that Google offers to most businesses. And so, Googling is a verb, right? So when you go to Google and you're looking for a plumber near me and you see a list of plumbers, if you click on the plumber, sometimes you'll go right to their website and sometimes you'll land on their Google Business Profile. And so the Google Business Profile is a great place where you can find out, we call it the NAP, name, address, and phone. But you can also use that as a tool just like social media. You can put content and photos in there. People can leave reviews for you there. So that's a really important pillar. And then about 1.5 years ago, Apple came out with, it's actually called Apple Business Connect. But, they have this map built into the iPhone, just like Google has Google Maps app, right? You can put it in any phone. And Apple said, well, we want some of that map share for businesses. And so now businesses have most businesses have the eligibility to actually have their business listed on Apple Maps as well. And then the fourth pillar is collecting reviews. So those are the four really important digital marketing services that I always say start with.
Yes. So to recap, the first one is website. The second one is the Google business page, Apple Business Connect, and then the reviews on both of those. Okay, awesome. I really like that. It's a great foundation for people to start. And I'm so glad that you brought up the importance of a website, because a lot of businesses who are just starting out, they'll just do a Facebook page, right? And the problem with that, to me, I feel like, is that they can't control what Facebook does. But with their website, they can control everything about that. Have you had people come to you and be like, well, I have a Facebook page. Why do I need a website?
Yes, people say that a lot, actually. And also regarding the Facebook page, I always say if somebody is just starting a business and you have a personal Facebook page, start talking about your business there first, so that you don't really have followers, you have friends on your personal page. But then when you go and create your business page, you can then invite people who are already informed about what you're doing. You can invite them to your business page, right? But the business page on Facebook, you're 100% right. Jeremiah, Facebook controls that, right? And if Facebook goes down, what do you do, right? So you always have the eligibility or the option rather, to update your own information on your website. So
yes. And they're changing things with their algorithm sometimes like weekly or
Yes.
monthly or every quarter. And when they do that, sometimes the things that used to work to get to your audience doesn't quite work anymore, and you have to re-strategize. So if you have a place, at least in my opinion, if you have
Yes.
a place where you can just control everything, then it makes a lot more easy to sleep at night, knowing that
Yes.
your whole business isn't in the hands of Facebook.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And Facebook is a good tool for every business, but I could not agree more, because it's actually, I love working with Facebook for my clients, but some days I log in and I go, what are they doing today? There are new changes. They're just always updating and, like you said, changing algorithms. And I believe at the core, Facebook wants to help businesses, but they make a lot of changes. So sometimes it's a little tough to kind of keep up.
Yeah, they want to help businesses, but they also want to make money.
And they want to own it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, all of it. Yeah.
So we got the foundations with the website, the 2 business profiles on Google and Apple, and getting reviews. So once someone has that foundation, what are some of your strategies online to increase interest in a local business?
Yeah. So social media is important. You should definitely be, if you have a personal page and then you move into a business page, you should be very consistent posting on social, right? So Facebook, Instagram, videos, if you have any videos of yourself. And that's why I was so glad when I met you, because the service you offer is amazing. And I'm not sure enough businesses remember that. We're like, you need to have a fresh video, whatever you're talking about and however you're advertising. So social media is really important. And so a lot of times people will come and say, well, I have this budget. Some people have $200 a month. Some people have $2,000 a month that they want to put into Google ads. And so what I do is I do this whole online profile. It's like an audit to see what their online profile looks like, and then we move into, once that foundation is shored up, then we move into ads and social media, and citations are another thing that a lot of businesses don't realize they can do. There are a lot of really free directories related to different industries. So if you're a carpenter, there are citation websites out there where you can actually be listed for your profession, and you can share content on that as well. So there's a lot of different little pockets of areas you can do. But you don't always have to spend thousands of dollars advertising. And a lot of times people think they need to do that to get indexed onto Google. But there are other ways. So
Yes, and I'm so glad that you brought up video too, because it is obviously our favorite type of content
Right.
here at Well Said Media. But it's also, in my opinion, the most engaging form of content, just because you have the video and the audio portions of it. But in the grand scheme of things, a business can also repurpose a lot from video. They can take the audio out and make it a podcast if it's a long enough video, right? They can take screenshots of the video and use them as imagery to put someplace else. So there's just a lot that you can do with video, including just taking the audio and making a blog post out of it using the content in that audio. So there's just a lot of options that you could do with video that we really like to get here. But when you're thinking about that sort of content strategy with video, some people come to this content marketing world with thoughts on quality versus quantity, right? So, I mean, we could make, 10 videos right now just using our phone, but is the quality good enough? And is it better to have those 10 videos and have a good message in each one of them for your digital marketing? And this is kind of what I want to talk about next with you, because there's so many people out there who are insecure about what to post online and how to market themselves. And sometimes they feel like the quality isn't good enough, and sometimes they feel like they might be posting too much or not enough. So I like to talk about this quality versus quantity thing in content marketing, and I was wondering if you had any thoughts on this specifically.
I do, and I had a million thoughts run through my head with everything you just said. And I totally agree with you on video. One of the most important, I think, messages that comes with a video, especially professional video like what you do, is not only does it display how professional that business is, but it's an up close and personal, right? So the visitor who finds that video, whether it's on their website, and businesses can use these videos, even like the clips, like you just mentioned, breaking it out into other shorter videos. You can post those on your Google Business page and on your Apple Business Connect, and so those are more areas for the potential visitor, client, customer to find and relate to a business with video. I do believe in both quality and quantity. I think there's a beautiful way to do both. So recently, back a couple months ago, I was challenged by actually my business coach to go on Facebook Live for 30 days. It was terrifying. The first day was so terrifying. But after the first couple of days, it was good. But the difference between and that was good because, and I did it on my personal page, and it was kind of a way to get myself out of my comfort zone, right? And that's okay that people see that raw version of me, but would I ever want that on like my website or something? No. This is when we need to work with a professional, because I think it is important, what you do and the time you take to put the real video together. And again, you can do so many different things with it. So,
yes, that's a great way to approach it, because you can do both, quantity and quality, depending on the context of the content itself.
Right.
You could go live for an hour real easy, and it be okay that the image isn't quite as good as it would be on, say, the cameras that we have here in the studio.
Right.
Just because the engagement is different in a live stream setting than if somebody is just watching a documentary style video like we do here.
Totally agree. And again, it's good to have that off the cuff video if you wanted to quick get a message out, but it's nowhere near as refined as working with a professional video. And you just don't, especially like with what you do, the time that you take to edit and put that video together in its final form is hugely important. And you don't get that on your Facebook Live. So totally agree.
Yeah. So we were talking about social media marketing here, and we also touched on Google advertisements. What is the more important thing for a company to spend their time doing?
So anything they can do to keep their information consistently updated, right? So if a company has maybe a special coming up and they want to talk about that live on social media, that's great. If they want to make posts about it, that's great. They should put it on their Google Business profile. But the more they're engaging or like keeping their information out there and consistently updating, the more indexing they get when people are actually searching for their type of business. That's just how it works. So a lot of times, when people come to me and say, I think I should be doing ads on Facebook or Google, and I say to them, well, what does everything else look like? Because if your foundation isn't tight, then it's like throwing that money away, right? You're putting money out there to talk about your business, but when people hear you or see you, I don't know, think of the old days, radio or TV ads, right? Now, if somebody hears a radio or TV ad, they're going to go look for them online before they pick up the phone and shop for them. So whatever they can do to be touching and consistently updating wherever they are listed online and whatever platform they're on. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay.
So that includes replying to reviews and things like that?
Yes.
Like, how should
Thank you.
somebody
I forgot
approach that?
Yes. So I always advise my clients to reply to both negative and positive reviews.
Oh, okay.
Because, again, you're engaging, right? And if someone leaves you a nice review, you should definitely jump in there and say, thank you so much. We loved working with you. And if someone leaves a negative review, you should too, specifically because typically as a business, you want to fix what went wrong, right? If somebody had a negative experience, hopefully the business learns from that, right? But you should acknowledge that, and not just to take care of the customer, but for any potential customers that see you responding, you'll have more respect and more likelihood for a new customer to come on board if they see you, reacting to a negative one in a positive way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And one more thing on that too is sometimes I've run into it where there'll be a business with a negative review and the person isn't even talking about their business. The person who left the negative review is confused or found the wrong location or name. And so then it's really important, right, to go in and sort of defend yourself in that and say, hey, I'm sorry, but, I think you have the wrong business. I'm sorry that happened, but let's see if we can get you in touch with the right business that, and that does happen.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly.
We got a call here the other day at the office for a similarly named company, but it had it had a different ending. And I don't know if I can say it, but I was like, yeah, that person doesn't work here. I think you have the wrong company. So
right,
they were very thankful
right.
that I answered the phone or called them back to let them know that they were calling the wrong people.
Because they could keep calling, and if nobody told them, they don't know what they don't know, right?
Exactly, and then they're mad at us.
Right, right. Oh, gosh.
So that was funny. A very interesting thing to happen, and it does happen every once in a while. So we were talking about the foundation, and once the foundation is set up, we sort of jumped ahead with content marketing with content quality versus quantity, but I kind of want to backtrack a little bit here with this next part, because once the foundation is set up, it can be intimidating. The next steps, like there's so much online to where you can promote your business and do little things here and there. What is your advice to people who want to start promoting their business online when they already have their foundation set? Like, what is the next steps for them?
Okay. So when the foundation is set, you definitely want to continue updating, like posting new content on your Google business profile and photos, any images. It could be your products. It could be a picture of a client with your product. You could do the same on Apple. If you have an Apple Business Connect. To have an Apple Business Connect, you do have to have a physical location. Where Google, you can be a service provider, like a plumber that works from his home, then they can still have a Google business profile and be kind of remote. And then after you have that foundation and you're consistently updating your Google and your Apple and asking for reviews, then definitely move into some social media, right? A lot of times, initially, a business will start doing some branding posts. So, something unique about them. Something, and to sort of let all of their followers maybe know what they didn't know about them. So that part is very important. And then after that, they can look into posting ads on social media. Facebook and Instagram are a great place to start. They really are. Because they're easy and they're recognizable. And Google and Facebook do this, but they do it in a little bit different way. So Facebook has what we call boomerang ads. So if you are scrolling on your Facebook feed and someone has placed maybe a plumber, I have a plumber today on my mind. I don't know why. There's no problems at home. I don't know why that's coming up. But if someone is looking for a plumber, then the next time they're on Facebook, they will see plumber ads coming across their feed, and that's just how that works. And if they click on an ad and then don't do anything, that's all trackable, traceable, all the analytics. And then Facebook runs what we call like a boomerang ad. So next time you're scrolling, they bring it back in front of you and say, hey, we know you went over there, but you didn't really take any action. Are you sure you don't want to do that? So, and then there are, you can do the same kind of thing on Google, where, of course, Facebook is its own platform. But then Google, if you're running ads, another great place to run ads, they have what are also called boomerang ads, right? So you can do pay-per-click, where you set up an ad campaign and you set a budget and you've researched, what keywords work and maybe what keywords work for when someone is searching for your business, right? And then, so you run some ads, and I mean, you can split test them. You can see all kinds of really good information about how people are finding you. But then, if you, in part of your ad campaign, you can be advertising on other platforms. So, have you ever been on other websites? I mean, have you ever been, on like a sporting goods website, right? And you are earlier in the day, you were looking for, I don't know, boxes, shipping boxes, right? Mm-hmm. So now you go on another website and you're searching something, and all of a sudden over on the right, you see all these little ads, right? So those are additional ads that you can run through Google, because Google has agreements with these big websites to run these banner ads and such. So ads, after your foundation is shored up, running ads is a great idea. Just keep all of your, I always say, make sure you're checking in on the free sources, right? Because your Google Business Profile and your Apple Business Connect, those are free tools you can use. So you should definitely be updating those before you're paying for ads anywhere, just so you look consistent in Google's eyes and the visitor's eyes.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does. And for social media, if somebody just wanted to start with one social media to sort of, not sort of spread themselves too thin, because running a business is a lot. Sometimes there's only one person running these small businesses who are trying to promote themselves online. It can be a lot of work, doing the paperwork, doing the actual selling of the goods, all of this tax stuff, and then also marketing on top of that. So lots of people can spread themselves very thin. What is a direction on social media that someone should spend time to start off? Like, is it Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube? Like, where should somebody spend most of their time right out of the gate?
So there are two socials that we haven't talked about yet. I definitely think they should start on Facebook, right? Because you can also share that on Instagram very easily. Facebook owns Instagram, so you click a button and it's shared in both places. Easy enough. Yeah. TikTok is great if they're comfortable being out doing videos, either self videos or, videos of something they're doing. That's great. But there are two other socials that for business owners that are helpful, and those are Alignable and LinkedIn, right? So the neat thing about LinkedIn is that's your professional profile. So whatever you're posting about the business on Google or Apple or your social media, you can also post on LinkedIn. And you can make connections with other professionals. And then the neat thing about Alignable, I don't think enough people use Alignable, actually. It's a pretty good platform. It's similar to LinkedIn, other than, to me, it's a little more casual. But Alignable offers all of these different forums for your individual industry. And it's so nice because you can plug in to groups that are like-minded in your industry. You connect with these other people, and then you're actually learning from them as well, what they're doing in their industry and maybe what they're doing on social. So never be afraid to do that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like digital networking within your industry almost?
As a matter of fact, I was on, I'm trying to think, it was last summer maybe. It was several months ago. Alignable will offer like these, how you hear of like a lunch and learn?
Yeah.
It's like a lunch networking. Right? It's not lunch and learn, it's like lunch networking. And so for different industries, and I did one for digital marketers, and I hopped on this Zoom call. It's like less than an hour. I think they do it on Wednesdays. And I met these really great people that I now work with in my business. So if I have questions about something, they are my go-to person. So you can really meet some great colleagues and collaboration, make some nice collaborations. So
And it sounds like it doesn't have to be local because, I mean,
Exactly.
Alignable is nationwide. You met on a Zoom, so
Yep.
maybe some of these people are in different states.
One's in Florida and one's in California.
Nice.
And my friend from California is in Italy working right now. Actually, I'm a little bit jealous. But
Wow, yeah. Me too.
she's fantastic. But you can make some really cool connections on Alignable and LinkedIn. So highly recommend.
Awesome. That's a great tip. LinkedIn is definitely underrated for sure.
Yeah.
Among
Because I think
business
mostly
owners.
because people don't know what to say or do on it. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
And also what's really important when you're posting on social or any socials and trying to get your message out, you should always be offering value. You don't want to make a post about selling, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. You don't want to do that all the time because you're not building any confidence or trust, and you got to build a relationship first, right? It's like going on the first date with somebody and asking them to marry you. You don't want to do that. You want to date them for a while, right? So you want to offer some good value and some good content from your industry that would be helpful to your visitor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Bringing value above all else. And
Right.
it can definitely make a huge difference when you make a difference in somebody else's day. Like, oh, I didn't know that, or that's very helpful for me today.
Right.
And then you just build the brand like that. And when somebody thinks of a service that they need and you offer that service, they're going to think of you first.
Exactly. And people shop with who they know, like, and trust, right? So if you're building that relationship on a regular basis and not always asking them to buy, then you're better off.
Yeah. And it's not like just the buying posts sometimes, because I want to get back to the LinkedIn thing. Sometimes LinkedIn, I feel like, can get in this weird zone of like people always posting super inspirational things, right? Or it's just, sometimes it gets to be too much and kind of cringy
Yeah.
on LinkedIn. So I think bringing value there is super important than, just the salesy posts or like the cliche inspirational posts that you see every time
Right.
on LinkedIn.
Right. Or that you've seen in 100 different places, right? Same
Yeah.
one, repurposed.
Exactly.
So if you say you are a car and auto mechanic and you're not sure what to do on LinkedIn, create your profile or Alignable, create your profile, right? And both platforms will actually prompt you a little bit on what to like, what to do, and things like that. And connect with the people you know. Our phones are so intuitive. They already know how to connect, to tell you who else is on LinkedIn and Alignable. Sorry, I keep hitting that.
No worries.
But then go and post maybe, I don't know, tomorrow, make a post about, here are the 4 best things you could do to take care of your car. Change your oil, check your tire tread, especially in the winter up here, upstate, right? And whatever the 4th one is. And then people see that and they go, oh, this person's actually giving me something valuable. I'm going to pay attention to what they're posting. Instead of, hi, we change oil and we rotate tires for $59.95. Come see us. Instead of starting that way, start by telling people the best way to take care of their car,
Yes.
right? Because maybe they want to change their own oil or rotate their own tires. Who knows?
Yes. And then when it comes time to have something more serious repaired on the vehicle, then they're going to go to that person. That's a really good thing to bring up because there's so many industries out there that are afraid to share their knowledge.
Yeah.
And I've seen it in industries. Personally, it's sort of changing right now in a very niche industry, custom cowboy boots. All of the custom cowboy boot makers in the past never shared any of their information with anybody else. Like, that was the way that they made their product. Even if you wanted to apprentice for one way back in the day, they would not tell you anything until you were there for like a year sweeping up the shop or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, they were super secretive
Wow.
of what they did. And eventually that led to sort of a weird place that we're in now and just coming back from. Custom cowboy boot makers now are really sharing their ideas and their process with just whoever will listen, pretty much. You don't even have to be an apprentice. They'll just tell you what they do. And
So they did like a 180.
Exactly.
What was the change, do you think? What?
Well, there was so many custom cowboy boot makers that were just dying with their secrets.
Oh.
So that led to less custom cowboy boot makers overall. So then the ones who are left now, they're like, well, we have to open this up now and bring more people into this industry, because right now it's getting pretty thin on how many people can actually do this in the United States right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's forward thinking. That's how it should be, right?
Yeah, but I'm so glad you brought it up, because if you are very protective of your ideas in this internet age, depending on how, I guess, open your industry is, it's possible that somebody just find it someplace else if they really wanted to find that information, or is just that information just dies with you, and, that's not helpful to anybody, especially if you can't sell the service.
Right. And how great would it be if you were known as the expert because of what you did share, right? And not for the notoriety of it, but because you're actually helping people with what you know. You're sharing the information. And so to use your example, as you're aging and maybe aging out of doing something, and now new people are learning it, and continuing that. So, and also too, when I mentioned like on Alignable, you're making me think of these group forums in your like industries. You learn from each other. So say it out loud. This is how we all get a little bit better, right? Somebody has something that's really working and you share it, right? Then they're going to be able to help their clients and people with it. So
yes,
it's a good thing.
Yep. What do they say? The high tide rises all
Rising
boats?
tide takes all boats, lifts all boats, right?
Yes, that's what it's all about.
I agree.
So we're talking mainly about selling things online, because of these digital marketing services. Let's sort of break it down a little bit and talk about the differences between selling services online and in person, and sort of the nuances that happen in between those two spaces. Do you have any information to share from your perspectives?
Sure. So do you mean like if I come into a service station and I'm able to interact with somebody in person, right?
Yeah.
Versus how would I interact with them online?
Yeah.
Or so a lot of what we've talked about is how you build that trust with the people who are finding you online, because, especially with everything so digitized now and you can find so much online, unless it is a service for your vehicle or something you need to do in person, a lot of times you should be sharing whatever that information is online, because if you want that client to come into your station or whatever for your service, they'll find you online first. That's where they look. So definitely be doing, social media. Make sure your foundation is updated. I know, how many times can I say the foundation, right?
Yes.
Make sure that's updated. Definitely work on your social media posts, or, keeping things consistent. A video really, that's how people learn about like you and your personality. So that's a really great way to build, an initial relationship. And then when they're feeling that warm and you're building that trust with them, then they can come in and see you personally, and they feel. And it's nice because a lot of times they'll show up to the shop and feel like they already know you if they've learned about you online, right? And they've read what you've done and they've seen your videos that you had produced, Yeah,
it's more welcoming.
Yes.
That way, a little bit. It changes the vibe.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. I want to switch gears here a little bit and talk about networking in person. We talked about Alignable and networking online, but you and I met at a networking event with the Binghamton Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, for designingvalue.com, what is the value of being in a Chamber of Commerce?
Well, it's so nice because like with our chamber, they have a monthly luncheon. So I always plan to go and sit down next to someone new each month so that I can learn about their business, because these are local business people, right? And we're there to support each other and find out what each other can offer. But it's such a nice way to, and then when you leave that meeting, so you and I made this really great connection, and my husband was with me that night, I think. We were at that one, I think the welcome reception.
Yes, new member reception.
Yeah, new member. And I said, I think I'm going to be working with Jeremiah. I don't know on what level, but this is where you build the relationships, right? Because you get to sit down or you get to stand and talk with somebody and learn what they do, and you're like, that's a cool dude. I think I want to work with them. Or if I talk to a business, I think I know somebody who can use you, So those are, the face-to-face is my favorite. I mean, as much as 98% of what I do is online, I love the face-to-face because I think nothing will ever replace that. So you should engage whenever you can in person.
Yes, I love it. It's this different energy.
It is, totally.
Maybe it's a little bit more of an extroverted sort of feeling. So some people might have to like hype themselves up to go out and do that sort of thing.
True.
But it is very worth it after you get out there and make a habit of doing it on a regular basis.
And as you mentioned that, I'm thinking of two people in particular that I have seen at the luncheons that I've gone to, a couple of them, and they're very quiet and very shy. And the last couple I've seen them, they're talking to people more. They're sitting with new people. I actually went over and introduced myself to them more than once. People do. They learn to come out of their shell. We're all the same. We're here to learn about each other's business. So you should always put yourself out there and make those connections.
Great advice. Thank you for sharing that. And I find the value of being in the Chamber of Commerce incredible, just because of, one, the networking, but also some of the other events and services that the Chamber of Commerce can offer too. So just super valuable. And I think if you are a small local business or anything, that you should just join.
And a lot of times, like our chamber, they offer additional, I think you went for the little, I can't remember what it was called, the 1 minute up close and personal, like an interview with you, right? A couple weeks ago. They offer all these extra little, not even little, extra services and benefits that maybe you don't know about. But a lot of times, I mean, I always went into like this, thinking about chambers with this preconceived notion that you had to pay all this extra money for everything. And if you want to be in the newsletter, and a lot of times that's just part of your benefits. Mm-hmm. So always ask how you can be more visible, right?
And being more visible is super important, and you definitely help a lot of people be more visible just online through social media. But I want to kind of wrap things up here, and with that, I want to ask you, what's next for designingvalue.com?
Well, I'm very excited about the future. So about 4 years ago, I really would have considered myself more of a freelancer. Mm-hmm. I guess that was almost 5 years ago, where someone would come to me if they had a specific project for me to work on, right? And I did that for a long time with several different nonprofits, and I would stay on with them, till the end of their mission. And then about 5 years ago, I started adding all of these additional services to my, repertoire and what I could do for businesses. And as I did that, not only am I learning about how to help them, but it's also putting me in front of people that I can add to my team to continue helping other businesses. So right now we are adding to our team little by little.
Congrats.
Yeah, I just hired a project manager. She is fabulous and keeping me very organized. So my goal for the very near future is to just continue reaching out to more of our local businesses that I can meet face-to-face, people across the country. I love talking with them as well. But wherever I can find little places to help businesses that offers them value, and then they can watch their bottom line grow without spending, hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's always my goal. And as they grow, then maybe they can invest more. But any way we look at it, I just love to make those connections, learn about their business, see maybe where they have some cracks in their foundation that I can help them, and just, continue to grow.
That's great. And how does somebody contact you and hire you for your services?
Okay. So you can go right to my website. It's designingvalue.com. And I think that you and I are probably going to talk about offering some interesting packages for people too. I'm looking forward to that.
Sure.
Yeah. And so you can just go right to designingvalue.com, and I have a little contact form there. Or, of course, you can email me, Michelle, with 2 L's, at designingvalue.com anytime.
Yes. And as Michelle mentioned, we did talk ahead of time because we wanted a special offer for folks watching and listening today. And I believe that it was the free consultation from Michelle, where she'll do that. What did you call it? It's not quite the audit, but it's
an online. I look at your whole online profile.
The whole online profile, give you a report.
Give you like a roadmap.
Yeah. And if you hire her for that and hire us for a video, we will repurpose that video into 3 vertical shorts and give you images from the video, which is a $500 value, and you can get that for free added on to the video that you get from us. So it's a great way for us to collaborate and for you guys listening to win at the end of the day as well.
And you know what, Jeremiah, thank you so much for having me today. And there's one thing I wanted to mention. So I think when people consider doing a podcast or having a video recorded, there's this preconceived notion that, it's you're going to be so nervous and it's so uncomfortable. And what do I do? What do I wear and all that? And I want to thank you because you made this so easy. Your whole team made this so easy. I was so comfortable. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah,
and I know that's what you do when you're doing videos for your clients too. So that's one of my favorite things about everything that you do. And that's why I'm just grateful. Thank you for having me today.
If you want to take advantage, anybody watching or listening of this offer, we got links in the description where you can learn more. My name is Jeremiah Craig. We're here at Well Said Media, and if you want to learn more about our services, you can go to wellsaidmedia.com. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening today.